Conference promo video done by the incredible Jeff Hawkins, my wonderful husband. So thank you very much, Jeff, for doing that for us. We have an amazing conference coming up. We have 4 great keynote speakers. We have, I believe, 12 amazing breakout session classes that are going to be available. And we are currently selling vendor booths and tickets. So reserve your ticket today. You can attend the main stage luncheon for as low as $39. You can attend the entire VIP 2-day event for only $99. And get this, if you're a vendor, vendors can be a vendor for $255 if you're a WOMTech member, $355 if you're not a WOMTech member, but with your vendor registration, you get 2 $99 full VIP passes. So that means your booth is like 60 bucks. Come on, people, come join us, have fun. It's going to be an amazing event, and we are going to fire up your business as we teach you how to fireproof it for the future. Speaking of business and speaking of fireproofing and making money, I am so excited to introduce you to a godly woman, a wonderful woman that I personally love. And she's a WOMTech member, and she is in the financial services and financial planning category, but I like to refer to her as a financial therapist. So now please welcome to the set, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. You're just a delight, and I can't wait for all of our members to get to know you. So we're going to talk about something different. So if you're watching today and you're starting to tune out because you're like, you know, I don't need to learn anything about finances, I have a financial services person, she's going to share with you a different perspective, a perspective that I hope you hear our overall theme as we continue to talk today, because, you know, to find success, you have to first find your heart, and she's going to help you keep that focus. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about who you are and what is your company? What do you do?
Well, I am a certified financial planner. We have a fee-only investment firm in Winter Park doing purpose-driven financial planning. But basically, we are a financial therapist. There's so much emotion attached to finances that we kind of help you break that down, and the numbers take care of themselves. It's pretty simple. I don't even do the investment management anymore. I outsourced that a long time ago because I truly believe we're supposed to focus on our unique ability. And my husband called me a financial therapist for years, and I thought it was an insult. But now I've kind of taken it to heart and realized, you know what? It is. That's what it is. There's so much emotion. I had a lot of trauma as a child, unintentionally, and it's made me who I am. So I believe we're supposed to make our misery our ministry.
You know, I thank you for sharing that and saying that. And because we've done a business assessment call, I know a little bit about you and a little bit about your background, which, by the way, if you're watching today and wondering, how do I get on WOMTech Live? The first way to get on WOMTech Live is to schedule your 1-hour business assessment call with me so I can get to know you better and I can learn your talents and your skills and your traits. So that's what brought Michelle here today. Yes. And that's what helped us connect. And I really did discover that you do have a very caring servant heart. And it is not to you about selling mutual funds or, you know, investment planning. It's really about looking at everybody's situation and figuring out how big or how small they are, how to help them. Right. Almost to the point where I had a question to make sure you weren't helping too much, but you're building a thriving, profitable business, so you're doing very well. Tell me a little bit about, you mentioned some trauma as a child. You said you wouldn't mind sharing this. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your story, just so other members that may be feeling that there's so much psychology to it?
Oh, it's amazing, actually. I worshiped at the altar of fear for many, many years, to the point where I had put all my faith in my bank account. And I'm not ashamed to say that now, because a lot of people do that and they don't even recognize that that's what they're doing. When I was a child, my mom said the simple phrase, "Who's going to pay for that?" when I had ordered a refill. I'm starting to date myself. And I looked in my little purse, and I started counting my coins, and I was terrified that I wouldn't be able to afford the drink. And from that point on, I hoarded money. And that's exactly what it was. And God has a great sense of humor. He brought me the most amazing man who had such a free spirit. And he just has an abundant mentality as opposed to the poverty mentality that I had. And we made a great team. And at the same time, we had the same values, but we spent money totally different. And you know, it's been a learning experience, and it's been a wonderful, you know, journey. But the emotional side of money has been my main focus, because you know, I have to do a little, you know, check to myself, you know, okay, why is it I feel that we can't take a vacation? It's been 5 years. And it was because growing up, my parents invented staycations. My father was a pilot, my mother was a travel agent, and they were always gone. So when they had vacations, they wanted to stay home. I never really valued vacations because I never went on them. I didn't know what to expect. I thought vacations are what you take when you're financially stable and when you've got everything taken care of. So my journey has been different, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Thank you for sharing that, because I think that that's important. It's the little things we do as parents that really mess up our kids because it does create that emotional, it's funny you talk about paying for stuff. Every time I go to put gratuity on a sales receipt, I panic because my dad used to get mad when I was filling out the sales receipts if I couldn't do the math in my head fast enough. And it sets this panic, and it's so silly. I mean, like something so simple. Why do I have anxiety? I mean, he's been gone for a long time and I still have that anxiety. So how do we deal with these emotional triggers? How do we look at our finances and identify what emotionally may be blocking us or hurting us? What are some of the suggestions, or what are some of the things that you've seen or experienced with some of your clients?
Well, one of the trigger words that I will use when it comes to something financial and it's emotional and you're wanting to do something impulsive is the trigger word disengage. Just disengage. Don't do anything financial impulsively. Don't do anything financial emotionally. I had a guy in my office and he goes, "Don't we make all of our financial decisions emotionally?" And I was like, I would hope not. And I said, actually, I did the same thing once my car broke down 3 times in 3 months, and I immediately took it to the dealership and I made an emotional, horrible investment. But, one of the things you need to do is just disengage and really just say, okay, what is it about this that is bothering me? And a lot of it revolves around we want control. And control is not ours to have, especially in a company. My investment firm is the perfect example. I fired myself in 2008.
You fired yourself.
Absolutely. I realized that no matter how hard I was trying to make things happen, they weren't happening. And it wasn't until I took a day off, which is something I never did, that things started falling into place. And it was like, wow, I'm not even in the office, and things are falling into place. So I recognized, I was like, maybe I'm trying to ram a square peg in a round hole. Maybe I'm not the best advisor for myself. So that's when I surrendered my business and I said, Jesus, take the wheel. And it's been blessed ever since.
That's awesome. I hope you're seeing the common denominator that we were talking about earlier with Jeff, because people that really do move forward in faith and not fear, because fear is a big focus, and people that move forward in confidence that you're doing the right thing and not this emotional thing or something because you feel like you have to do it or you should do it. So there's probably a lot of people. I know Trixie Walker's watching, Cindy Barnett's watching, Jennifer Ann is watching. Tell these people who, if they're sitting there and they're watching and they're saying, you know what, Kathleen, it sounds like a great idea. I don't have any finances to put in someplace, or this is not the right year. Next month I'll start doing this. What advice would you give to somebody that's been procrastinating doing something they should be doing?
I often ask someone what is their biggest asset, and they'll mention a home, an office building, something, that produces income. And they so often fail to recognize that they are their biggest asset. And, if the thing that I'm passionate about is managing your time wisely, because time is money. Everybody knows that old saying. Time is money. Your talents are obviously what you convert into money. And we need to be very wise with how we spend our time, our talent, and our treasure, as well as our temple, because, it doesn't matter if you end up hitting the financial finish line that you set and you have billions of dollars if you don't have your health. That's the one thing money cannot buy. So we just have to be very good stewards of all those resources that God gives us.
I think that's awesome. And I know you brought a book that you're pretty passionate about today. What is that book and why are you passionate about it?
Well, it's actually a book that was written by the wife of the investment advisor we actually outsource our investment management to. And it's called The Other Side of Money. And I haven't even finished it. It is so new. I am excited to share it with you guys because it's all about making, wise choices and being a good steward and just living a more balanced life, because I think that's what we all want. We all want balance. We all want to be happy. And if you're ridding yourself, I call it, guilt is a toxic emotion. And if you feel guilty because you're not a good steward of your time, or if you feel guilty because you haven't started saving for those, college educations that will be coming, that's something you need to confront, and if you're not good at it, you need to outsource it. Come to see a financial advisor. and delegate. I say more of what you love, less of what you hate.
I love that. Say that one more time. Look at them. Say that one more time.
Do more of what you love to do and less of what you hate to do.
Which is so important because so many of us don't. We get focused on either the things that are time wasters or distractors, and not understanding that, you know what, if I can make more money doing what I love to do, doing the calling that God has given me to do, then that's what I need to do. And if that means hiring someone to clean my house, or if that means outsourcing something to do with financial planning, then that's what we need to do. Because
and I actually gave up couponing recently, and I have always been OCD couponer. And my husband made me realize, he said, honey, how long did it take you to save that $100 at Publix? And I was like, yeah, just a few hours. And I started doing it in my head, and I was like, 5, maybe 6 hours. And he goes, do you still enjoy it? And I was like, no, it's stressful. And he goes, focus on building your business. And he goes, I don't think you're being a good steward of your time. I was like, oh, you're right. So I gave them to someone else, and she does a good job with it. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, that's my poverty mentality, is I can't go out to dinner unless I have a coupon. And it's like, you know what? I'm a child of the Most High, and I have an abundance mentality, not a poverty mentality.
As we're wrapping up here, when we're looking at our finances and we're looking at the things that we need to do, what are some of the biggest myths that you hear that people have, that people that come to you? What are some of the biggest myths that they have?
It's funny. A lot of people are saving up and they don't even know what for. So one of the things I always say is you need to basically define your vision and your values, and then line up all your decisions based on those, and set goals. And even ask yourself on a daily basis, are the choices I'm making lined up with the goals I have for my future?
Okay, your future and your family's future, because it's getting in line with your husband. Like, I'm sure it came to a point where the two of you had to come together and analyze what the emotions were that were coming to play in leading your decisions, and then figuring out where as a family you were moving and leading and going to, which is really important. So thank you so much for being here today and for sharing with us. And I know that she's an amazing person, so if you reach out to Michelle, now you've got a book that you're giving away. You are going to give away one book. So if you are online right now and you let us know, hey, let's see, what can we do? We can ask a question. I need a financial plan. The first person that types in, I need a financial plan, is going to win the Other Side of Money book from Michelle Ogden and be part of her journey to live a faithful life, an obedient life, to follow your calling, and to know that when you find that calling and you move forward obediently, you will be blessed with the wealth that you need, because God will always provide you with what you need exactly when you need it. So thank you so much again for being here today. I look forward to hearing more from you, and they can find you on the WOMTech directory.
Yes.
What chapter are you in, Michelle?
Winter Park.
Winter Park. So you can either sort by Michelle, sort by Winter Park, or sort by financial planning, and you will find her name. So connect with her on Facebook. It always helps to get to know other wonderful, passionate people. So thank you, thank you. We're going to take one more quick break, but don't go away, because when we come back, we are going to meet the fabulous Betty Lord Hillman, who is a stylist and an image consultant, and she's going to share with us some amazing tips for how to feel like $1 million even before you have it. So don't go away. We'll be right back.